Hello everyone, this is Jess from J-Rose Alchemic Art and welcome back to another video. In this one I am going to be taking you guys through our experience with Gen Con. I know that it's been a few weeks since then, so it's a little bit late, but hopefully you guys still find something interesting about being able to walk around the convention itself, some of the fun aspects of the trip, like being able to walk around the city of Carmel and Indianapolis. And then also going to go over some board games that we might have purchased, some more recent things that we kickstarted like over the last couple of months that I just really haven't had a chance to introduce here, and just, yeah, some fun things that we were able to do during this convention time. So if you're at all interested, make sure that you follow along and see what happens.
Is that a microphone on top?
It is like a sound buffer, yes. I do also have microphones though, if you want.
Does the camera have a microphone, like have its own microphone on top?
Yes.
I see, nice, yeah.
But yeah,
Is it a good microphone?
Yeah, no, I'd say it's pretty good.
Can you give these like a good shovel? So you're wearing the Princess Peach tomorrow then?
Maybe. If we find a toad hat in time. It's already packed. Arcana. Almost lost a game, but won the game for free.
Oh wait, it's different moments. Come up there at the top.
There's the monsters. Really good one. We'll come back here tomorrow, don't worry. I think the true dungeon setup is around here somewhere. Yeah, it's dope. This is kind of the area that's like the I know there were more vendors down Yeah. So they set up another
This is the Maker's Market.
I think the real dungeon stuff might be up ahead.
Trash King.
Trash King.
Hell yeah.
Oh. And then
Trash it up. I don't know why, that's what I'm saying.
Can you tell the people back home how much it costs for pecans and iced coffee?
Way too much. Are you kidding me? They got me with the smells, though. It smelled so good.
And quick peek at the inside?
Oh, go me.
Yeah, but $23 worth?
No, not worth. But I got my coffee. I got whatever smelled good. That's something.
Good deal. Well, on to the convention center.
All right. Oh yeah.
Wait, I think my way to print a new deal is right there.
And you have 5 options.
I can either.
One option is if you don't like the contract you have.
I did the second game. This, I was on the last.
Sounds good. Great.
I do like the cat tower display.
You gotta go at least once.
It'll make sense. So normally market prices
They said 2 slices of chocolate, and then Jaren said the surprise cake.
Important details.
Oh, I messed up. I got it.
That's the next round.
We gotta do this one again?
Yeah.
This is exactly what I needed. I'm so happy. And there are other people who are like,
If you guys are interested, it's available for $20. Everything in the box includes 2 copies of each of the 10 pieces of trash.
Oh, this is the one right here I got.
Yeah, no, it's like super nice. Honestly, like great to walk around in too.
For sure.
Excited for dinner?
Close.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really think they were developing all of this like the last time we came. It's the Rail Trail Hall of Fame. Oh, but they do have a security camera, so that is kind of nice. True. Very true. It is really pretty, honestly. I think it looks really nice at nighttime.
Hell of an echo show. Great acoustics.
For sure. Yeah,
Did you have a chair like that?
for sure. So pretty. Yes, my husband and I have been going to Gen Con for this will actually be our 3rd year now that we're going, and we've always really had a really good time. I feel like Gen Con just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and there's just always more people that are going, which is really awesome, but it can definitely be a little overwhelming at times. So I think that it is important to kind of know your limits, especially like how long you can be around big crowds of people. as well as like if you need to take a break, if you need to go walk, get food, whatever it might be. And I think that we had a good time, but we were also having my husband's brother also came with us, and we had some friends that also came up, and they all kind of explored Gen Con, sometimes together, but mostly at like, we kind of separated off into groups. So while it was a good time, I think that we were also like trying to show people around and, you know, hope that they also got a good Gen Con experience. So in that aspect, I feel like it was a lot. But again, we still had a good time, and I think that we're definitely planning to hopefully go back next year as long as we can. So yes, this year was very different because I had actually cosplayed for the first time over a couple of the days that we were at the convention center. So I ended up dressing up as a Pin Witch for 2 of the days because I already had my hat. I'd kind of done that last year a little bit, so that was really fun. And then I also ended up picking up some more pins that I was able to add to my hat, so that was a pretty fun time. And then I also ended up dressing up as Yuna from Final Fantasy X, and I was actually really surprised. People were very nice and everything. I had quite a few compliments on the hat, which I appreciate, but I also you know, even though Gen Con is technically a board game convention and, you know, Final Fantasy X is an actual video game, obviously a lot of people recognized it. It was really fun. And I had a couple people actually come up and ask if they could take pictures, which I'm very grateful. Thank you for asking first. But people would shout out, you know, like, oh, great Yuna cosplay, or actually when I was going to get some Wild Bills, I ended up picking up a soda. The guy that was working at the stand recognized that I was like standing in line for it, and he's like, yeah, Yuna, come over here, you know, we'll get your drink figured out. So I was able to pay for it, mostly because I was paying with cash and not with credit card, but still appreciated the thought, and we were able to chat about Final Fantasy X. I guess that he and a friend, that was like his first game that he had ended up finishing with his buddy, and like, you know, X amount of years ago when Final Fantasy X first came out. So it was really fun to chat about that and find a mutual interest in video games like that. So that was a really fun experience. And honestly, yeah, a really pleasant one. I think that it would be fun to try and cosplay again. I was going to also try to cosplay as Princess Peach from Mario and everything, but unfortunately the costume, which I should have read the reviews a little bit better. People had been saying that the zipper, like closer to the top, would get stuck and you couldn't pull the rest of it up. So even though the outfit fit, it did not want to go all the way up. And my husband didn't want to like force it and accidentally break something. So I just figured it'd be better to wear something, a regular outfit that day. So no worries. Hopefully we'll have some better luck with Princess Peach in the future. But regardless, first time cosplaying at an actual like full day event where I'm not vending, and it ended up going successfully. So thank you guys for that, for being so sweet. Now, as far as purchases go, I feel like we have to start with the art stuff first, because of course, I'm an artist myself. I really appreciate all the different things that we've been able to pick up over the years. So yeah, I feel like I've got to share some of the things. So initially, we did end up getting some pins. So this, and I think I have the other pin possibly on my hat now, so I will have to grab it. But this is from Gawky.net, and I really love the little ghost heart here. It's super cute. If you couldn't tell, it's an actual like heart shaped out of little ghosts, so I really appreciated that and thought that was really fun. And then ended up also purchasing some other pins. I'm afraid, is it on the back here? This looks like lab illustration. I apologize that I don't know the names right off the top of my head. But she ended up designing, they ended up designing all of these little animal pins, and I really like the little rat and the mouse and then the raven. I thought they're just all so pretty, and I really enjoyed them. But they're like super heavy duty as well, so I've noticed that as I keep adding pins to the hat, it does get a little bit heavier each time. So I'm trying to see if I need to like switch out pins, which might be kind of fun too. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool that we were able to do all that. I ended up finding the other pins from Gaki, but they ended up also designing some little ghost that has the L, and then oh, there we go, a little pumpkin as well. And I thought these were really cute and obviously very representative of my spooky cute art. So I just really connected with it and I really enjoyed it. And their art style is really fun, honestly. So they had a lot of really cool, fun mushroom pin designs as well. But I wanted to stick with like some of the ghosties and the Halloween, the jack-o'-lanterns and what have you. So always appreciate that. And when I did that, I actually happened to have some extra freebie stickers that were just in my bag. So I was like, you know, might as well share the wealth and hopefully people have fun with it. But I also ended up getting some ribbons while we were at Gen Con. So these 4 were actually from that booth. And again, they're super cute, super nice, but they ended up giving me some extra ones because I gave them some stickers. So thank you so much for like trading with me on that. And I also want to say there's a fungi freak, fairy freak, monster freak, and a trashy freak evidently as well. So there was also a booth called Trash King. They had like this little ad in the Gen Con, I don't know how you want to say, program book, I guess you could say. There was like a little like find and search in here, and if you presented it to them, you could get a crown and you could get like a pin and some other things. Unfortunately, I guess their pin manufacturer had an issue and they weren't able to get it in time for Gen Con, which I do feel bad about it, like stuff happens. But they were willing to like make sure to take your name, to have you like put in your email address, and then they would send you an update about when the pins are available so that they could still come to you. So I really appreciated that. I think that really did hopefully help to get them some new people to see their art and work. So always a good idea for advertising. Yeah, with their booth, they ended up having All Hail the Trash King. And then we picked up a couple other ribbons. There's always the fan of Gen Con. There's actually a Gen Con Facebook group in case you were ever curious if you ever want to meet people that will talk about it, or like different events that you can kind of do. Like you can kind of give some advice on there. Especially if you've never been before. And then we also, my husband ended up donating blood at the American Red Cross. We may have had some issues there, but it ended up being fine. But we got this ribbon that says, "I'm somebody's type," which I thought was really cute as well. So yeah, those were some of the smaller art purchases. We also got a couple of prints, so let me grab it. As far as the kind of larger art purchases, we had also stopped by, I believe it's Asuka again. I had actually purchased a One Piece print from them last year, and I really wanted to stop by again, and thankfully they were there. So I ended up getting this, I was gonna say, I'm trying to make sure you can see all the details because there are a lot, oh my gosh. But this was from Howl's Moving Castle, so you can see kind of all the characters and everything in there, and just all the detail work is really incredible. And then also got this one from Spirited Away. Again, kind of all of the characters or like some of the central locations. And again, just like all the detail work and effort that he put into all of this whole design and piece is incredible. It makes me really want to improve on my own fan art quite a bit. Which hopefully that I will get to do now that I am done with my master's degree. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, also, because the cat is right here and right on the print, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We've not had a chance, unfortunately, to get some actual hangers for everything yet, so we're working on some frames for these things next. But I also got this massive Kingdom Hearts print as well, and like, holy moly, like there is so much detail in this. It's honestly incredible, and I can only imagine like how long it would take to get all of this done. But yeah, like super amazing. I'm so impressed with his work, and I hope that we keep finding really some neat stuff hopefully the next time we go back to Gen Con, or if I ever see him at another event. I feel like it's always interesting to go to different events throughout the country. Not that I've really gone anywhere else besides, you know, kind of the more local places, at least to me. I've never gone really to like the West Coast or East Coast or anywhere else really besides the Midwest, unfortunately, for any conventions, unless I'm vending at them myself. But it's nice to like meet other artists and like see their work like in real life and everything. So it's cool to be able to meet new people like this. So thank you guys again. So kind of the next purchase that I ended up making, which wasn't necessarily a board game, kind of more like a tabletop RPG, was from the Obojima booth. Yeah, exciting. Ooh, hello. Sorry. I also had picked up, they had like some player journals, and they gave 3, which was very nice, but clearly they have all fallen off my lap while I'm doing this presentation. Pardon me. The reason I kind of fell in love with the art from just looking at it from afar, but also they had these milk carton dice mystery boxes that were on their table, and that really got me too. So people at Ojima really know what they're doing. Regardless though, I don't know how much I can talk about Ojima necessarily. I do think that you should, if you're interested, maybe look up their site. I think they also have a YouTube as well, and they kind of talk about some of the world building and things like that. But yeah, if you couldn't tell, very much inspired by the Studio Ghibli-like art on the cover here, and just like the cover art that they had on their booth. I believe I have a video of it. But essentially, you can also take a quick look at the back here. It is kind of like a world filled with magic, but also a little bit of like modern-ish technology. I feel like to me this kind of reminds me more of like some things that you'd see in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, not necessarily like cell phones or things like that, so it's kind of interesting. But essentially, Obojima is the land that is encompassed in an island. It's surrounded by ocean. There's not really any other foreseeable like life or land masses around. So the people of the island just really know the island, and sometimes they're not necessarily interested in what's beyond the island or the ocean. So basically it's how you interact with the world as far as like, you know, using magic, potentially using some of the modern technology that has been there from the previous civilization, I believe is what it is. But there's also, there's spirits there that interact with people potentially. There's also the spirit world that you may or may not be able to wander into if you're interested in that. And just little things like that, that I think it's more the aspect of like that cozy life and just exploring the world as you want to, or maybe don't, if you want to just, you know, have a good time like setting up a shop or things like that. So I think that it's really fun. Again, I was very much inspired by the art. Like, oh my gosh, look at this thing. Yeah, just this idea of like spirits around us, you know, living in harmony with nature and all that. I think that's a really interesting concept and something that I kind of want to venture into with my own art. Obviously, if you haven't followed me before, I also design like a bunch of Halloween characters, ghosts, things like that, and I have been really meaning to get back more into background art and things like that. I feel like since life has been so chaotic and busy lately with master's program, getting married, helping my husband graduate, my father being sick, all of those things, I've really only been able to do like very simple artwork lately, which is never a bad thing. I'm happy that I can still do a little bit of art here and there, but definitely want to get more into background art, character design hopefully, and just, you know, some different aspects of art that I haven't been able to do for a while. So I'm looking forward to that. But regardless, yes, sorry I got off on a tangent, but Obojima, you should definitely look into it if it's something you're interested in. Studio Ghibli vibes, cozy living, yes. Now, as far as the actual board games themselves, I'm also going to present a couple of board games that either my husband and I have kickstarted over the last couple months, or pre-ordered or things like that. But it's been kind of some purchases over the last few, like really since the beginning of the year. So we're just gonna explain all of them now, see if there's something maybe you're interested in as well. So I will give like a little bit of a recommendation on things, or if I haven't tried it yet, you know, I'll give you some details if I can. But I would say that hopefully now that we both have a little bit more free time, not really because things are still crazy, but we're looking forward to playing a lot of these games ourselves, so look forward to that. But the first thing that we're going to focus on here is Spooktacular. Again, if you couldn't tell, spooky vibes, yeah, like this is a great game. Basically, you are playing as a character in like a horror film, so whether that be, you know, like the, oh, I can't remember her name now, gosh, hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I did actually say it on the card name, but this is the Remover. So hopefully you guys can see that okay. Sorry for the glare. But yeah, we have different horror characters throughout, and you were essentially playing as them in a movie theater and trying to scare all of the moviegoers. So, Frenzy. So yes, Spooktacular, you're basically playing as a villain, or however you would decide to say it, main character from a horror movie, and they basically come to life and are going around the movie theater that you are in, that are kind of locked in, and going around and scaring like all of the moviegoers. So kind of a fun idea, honestly. Basically whoever wins the most points obviously scares the most people, things like that. You also have other missions that are kind of on your tracker as well, or different abilities that you might get from, you know, scaring the most people or whatever it might be. Those are also on cards as well. So far, my husband and I have really enjoyed it, and we haven't played all of the characters yet, but we've played a couple of them, and I've been really enjoying it so far. Deadline is very interesting, and I would say, yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. But just so you have an idea, this is Deadline here. Yeah, super cool. But regardless, actually this is also a super rules heavy light game, but yeah, it's really only like 4 or 5 pages, so pretty simple, fun time. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't. Our next game that we're going to talk about that was also another recent pre-order is Leviathan Wilds. And sorry if you can see the door opening in the back, it's literally the cat. But, or both cats actually. But regardless, Leviathan Wilds, this one is also a little bit heavier, also kind of a fun game though, but I will show you a quick representation of the first battle here. But essentially, we have these leviathans that normally I believe that they're pretty peaceful and kind of around the world, but now they've kind of gone on a rampage. So you are going around and trying to quell them as best you can, and by essentially breaking little crystals that have caused them to kind of go upset. So it's also been a very interesting game. We've only played like the first level, the one that I showed you there. I don't want to show the rest of it necessarily. But I think that it is kind of like a campaign system, so as you continue to grow better and pick up new things, it'll be kind of an interesting game to share. So again, if you are interested in that, there's also technically an expansion as well. I don't know too much about this one yet, but you're basically interacting together with whoever you're playing with. You could also play solo, so that is also an option. But you have to try and save the Leviathans by defeating some of the crystals that are hurting them. So I feel like I'm not doing a good job explaining that. I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at explaining games. That's why my husband usually does all the teaching in games. But if the art, which I really appreciate, is something that you're interested in, maybe look into it. Okay, so our next game that is up on our recent Kickstarter pre-order list is Railroad Tiles. Holy crap, this thing is massive. Like, look at this. Holy crap. You can definitely get a workout in by just lifting this around though. But regardless, so I'll be honest, I was not really like a big fan of like the railroad dice variant of it, you know. But I do kind of like the idea of like just setting up a cute little quaint, you know, railroad tile section. I really like the idea specifically. They have different expansions in here as well, but I like the canals idea. I like the lake version. Monuments sounds really interesting too, I'm not gonna lie. We've not been able to play all of them, but it's really different from railroad dice. The theme is kind of cute. I like the art style, especially on those 3 expansions. There's a couple different ones as well. There's also a forest and a countryside and an energy expansion. Yes. But regardless, like, yeah, I think that if you are interested in like some of the expansions, like you might kind of get an idea of like how the game will progress. I think that they might potentially come out with more in the future, we'll see. But yeah, if you are interested in kind of like a tile building game, then maybe this is kind of a fun idea for you guys. The next thing we have here are all from Bitewing Games, holy moly. It's kind of like a space trilogy essentially, but I kind of like that for one, the art is fun, but also like Ego, but it's extraterrestrial greetings organization or things like that. I believe these are all made by Reiner Knizia, who, if you are not aware, very big into board game design and what have you. I haven't actually played them yet, so I really can't share any opinions on it so far, but I do really enjoy like the cover art on the box. They're all really fun. So yeah, we have Orbit, and then we also have Silos here as well. So again, I'm not like super into space themes as well, I'm sorry. But I do think that the art and everything is super fun. I don't really know too much about it really, but it did also come with a plushie that my husband says is actually based off of Reiner Knizia, which is kind of funny. So that sounds interesting as well. But again, if you're interested at all in that, maybe look into it. I will share a quick preview of the back so you kind of have an idea at least of what is entitled with each game. But yeah, I have personally not played it myself yet, so I can't really share too much an opinion on it yet. But yeah, hopefully if you're interested in something like that, might help you a little bit. Another thing that is something that I'm a big fan of is Kabuto Sumo. Again, this is actually the Sakura expansion edition, but I'm a big fan of Kabuto Sumo. I am not a big fan of bugs, like at all. Bugs kind of terrify me a lot, but I really enjoy, like, all these little bugs are so adorable and cute, and essentially you're playing like a flicking game. You have a little board, you have all the bugs set up on there, you select like one particular one, and then they all have little pieces along with it, along with potentially like a special power or power-up or anything like that. And I really have a lot of fun with it. It's a very simple game, and on the inside here it opens up kind of like an armoire? Is that what it's called? Anyway, like a big closet. But essentially, oh, hello. You have all these extra tiles and things in here that you can pull out. There's just a lot of fun stuff in here. And I enjoy this game so much. So like if we pull out the top shelf, there's like all the things that you'll need for like that particular character. But regardless, I have so much fun with this game. My husband, he does not like to play it as much with me because I usually, unfortunately, I usually end up winning, and while I enjoy that and have a good time with it, he will usually get just like a little bit butthurt, and then he's like, no, we're done playing this for a while. And I'm like, okay, fair. But if you are enjoying or looking for something that's very simple, a very fun little like flicking with your finger game on a board that's pretty tiny, and you're trying to essentially knock each other off of the board to win the game, then, you know, Kabuto Sumo might be something that you're interested in. And also, how can you say no to all of these cute little bug guys? They're so fun. But yes, if you're looking into something like that, definitely have a good recommendation for it. And finally, up on our list of kind of like pre-orders is going to be the Lost Ruins of Arnak. Oh my gosh, also massive box. Definitely could do some lifting with this. But we have the Lost Ruins of Arnak adventure chest like expansion box essentially. I really also enjoy Lost Ruins of Arnak. I really like the idea of like you're an explorer in the jungle and you're like trying to go up the path to find whatever it is that it might be. Typically there's some monsters that are kind of blocking the way, some ancient bugs or things like that, and you're kind of like, okay, these are the bugs that I don't like and probably don't want to be involved with, so I'm sorry buddy, we gotta get rid of you. But it is a very fun experience. So it kind of does remind me a little bit of like Indiana Jones. I think that it's a little hard to put together, but because there's like so many trays in here and everything, it does make it work. But essentially on the back here you can kind of tell there's like all of the things for the expansion. Hopefully you guys are able to see this okay. But yes, there's more boards, so that's always a good thing as well, because we've really only tried a couple of different boards. So the boards are essentially like, yeah, you are exploring, you know, up the beaten path or unbeaten path, to try and figure out like the secrets of Arnak or what have you. So they have more fun little places for you to explore now, along with some more evil things as well. So, but I'm excited to try some of the new ones. So again, if you're interested in like, basically you're playing cards, trying to level up, and also explore, you know, all these different places and find new artifacts and what have you, if you will. If you're interested in something like that, and I definitely shifted something in there, I'm just gonna put that down for a minute. If you're at all interested in that, definitely recommend Lost Ruins of Arnak. Some other games that we ended up purchasing. These are the things that we actually got while we were at Gen Con, so a bit of a smaller thing. We still spent a lot of money at Gen Con though. We saved up for it though, so we're doing fine, but also like still also need to save up for our wedding. Regardless though, first thing we have up on here is Wizard Kittens. It is actually a card game. Basically you are playing as a wizard kitten, but you have like this book of spells that accidentally released all these curses, so now you gotta try to get rid of the curses before you're essentially, you know, messed up the whole magic world. But it's super cute, really light. We actually ended up demoing this at Gen Con, I believe last year, and I really loved the game, or maybe it was the first year we went. It might have been the first year, but I love how cute it is, and just we waited in line to demo it because the idea was that it was like a big kind of like closed off section. Not a big closed off section, but the actual table itself had like the wizard kittens on there themselves, and then like a little display board where you would play your cards and everything like that. It's a very simple card game, but I just really like the theme of it, and obviously the art style as well, so I was like, oh, I kind of want to play that. So now that I saw that it was available again, and actually we got it on Sunday when they were doing a deal, so that was kind of nice as well. So I think that it's a really cute game, very fun. Check it out if you're interested. The next game that we purchased is This Game is Killer. This is the Frozen Horror Edition though. We actually had the original This Game is Killer as well, but on the back here you can see it's kind of like basically a pretty chaotic party game essentially. Like you're all playing as these different characters, except one of you is the alien that's trying to go around and kill all the rest of the players. And I don't think you're given a name. The horror. It's called the horror, sorry. But the horror is going around, moving throughout the cabin and like trying to kill people, maybe potentially assuming someone's identity as well, so you really don't know for sure who died. It just kind of depends. But I like the original one, but I think I like this one as well. Haven't managed, knock on wood, I haven't managed to be killed yet, so that's kind of exciting. But you try to get rid of the horror, obviously, before it gets to you, essentially. So I think that this is a really fun one, and honestly, it's pretty simple. It's quick. You can really play it in like a couple minutes, like 10-20 minutes tops, I think. So I enjoy that aspect. Sometimes I just need a light game instead of all these heavy ones all the time. So if you're interested in that, maybe check it out. Yes. The next thing we'll talk about is Tag Team here. This was actually something that my husband and his brother actually got to demo, and my husband really enjoyed it, but it is essentially like you were playing as two of the hero characters on the front, and you're battling against each other. You're flipping cards to, you know, try to defeat the other character across from you, but you're like continually building on like your abilities and what have you. So I haven't really tried it myself, but it seems like a good time, so I'm sure my husband will want to play it soon. I really can't give too much other thoughts on it because I didn't actually play it myself, but if you're interested in something like that, and especially kind of like the fighting game-esque aspect of board games, then maybe that's something you're interested in. Next quick thing that'll show off, my husband ended up buying these for like some cute little like solo card games that you can play, especially if you're just like you know, on a plane or at a coffee shop or something, you just want to play something quick. But they're basically like little wallet card games. They really do feel like a wallet that you can just fit in your side of your pocket. But yeah, they're just each like individual little solo games that you can try and play. Honestly, yeah, they probably only take a couple of minutes, and they have different like obviously rules and achievements and things like that you can do. But I could see like a little bit of replayability on it as well. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, maybe look into, they have like a bunch of these actually. So if you're at all interested in it, there's lots of different options for you. So maybe look into these games. This one I'm actually really excited for. I really enjoyed the aesthetics of this game and the art style as well, but this is Block and Key. Again, they were also kind of doing like a explanation of it, and honestly one of the board game designer, one of the people that actually worked on it and like worked for the company was there, and he was just sharing like all of the interesting facts about like how they like try to replay all these things, how they you know, were in production for so long because they were trying to figure out, especially with Block and Key here, it is essentially you are trying to, you have like a board underneath, you have your own cards, and depending on the way that you are viewing the board, you are trying to collect points by being able to build up those blocks, so in the best way that you can. And just the way he was chatting about like how they, you know, work so hard to find blocks that, you know, are heavy enough but that they don't shift on you, especially if someone like accidentally knocks the board. I thought that was so cool. And they were talking about another board game that they're like currently working on and designing. And just like some of the, you could tell he was very passionate about his job, and I really appreciated that. And just the level of interest and love that they put into their games really inspired me. And I was like, this is honestly so cool. Because yeah, the kind of the finicky board game mechanics of some things, you know, oh, you knock something over, or oh, like if you're moving, you know, a tile or something like that, you know, it slides really easily. But, you know, the way that they were thinking of like, well, how can we make something that is still cost efficient, but, you know, maybe doesn't slide as easily, or, you know, making like those nitty bitty details that really do make a game so much better. And I really appreciated that, honestly. So Block and Key, I am honestly so excited for this. If we end up playing it one night, I will probably take some footage of it. So look forward to that in the future, in a future like life vlog, I suppose. Okay. And our final game to chat about would be Regicide Legacy. My husband actually found Regicide originally a couple years ago actually, and we've been playing it for a while. But it's basically a card game. You can use like regular deck of cards, and you are essentially like fighting the kings and queens to try and defeat them. You know, kind of the core heads, if you will, of like the regular deck of cards. But in the Legacy version here, we actually ran into the booth kind of randomly, and they happen to be selling the Legacy copy here. But essentially now it has been developed into a bit of a story. I won't give away too many details, but basically it's set in a world. Some of the characters in the world setting is becoming corrupted now, and you have to try and figure out like what exactly is happening while also defeating like, you know, certain bosses. It is kind of a difficult card game. It's meant to be something that's like played a lot until you beat it and then you move on to the next thing. That's how the original game is as well. But I feel like some of the added components that they've done, like different strategies and skills, that is not always the same, like, oh yeah, I have to beat this card. Or this series of enemies. It is still kind of like that, but there are like added things as well, like, oh, now, you know, these cards don't work as effectively, or things like that. Again, probably not doing a great job of explaining, but you really should check it out. It's a difficult game, but it's a really fun game. So make sure to look into Regicide Legacy. And it is a legacy game, if you can tell. So kind of what you have learned and put into effect from before will come into effect again later as you continue the game. So yes. Alright, but I believe that is most of the things that we happened to purchase while we were in Gen Con. I know it does feel like a lot. And technically I showed off some of the Kickstarter games that we had recently purchased too over the last year, really. So definitely a lot of different board games that we're getting into and trying, so I hope that if you are at all interested in it, then maybe you learned about something new or something you're interested in trying yourself. There's one other thing that technically is not here yet, and I don't have like the physical copy of it, but it was for a game that is called The Crooked Moon. Again, another TTRPG. Actually goes along with 5e, with Dungeons and Dragons. But again, I was really interested in the kind of horror aspect of it a little bit, and I really enjoyed the art, so I happened to read more about it and actually pre-ordered and backed it on BackerKit, I think. But yes, since I don't have the actual physical copy of the book here with me, really can't show anything off, but you should definitely check it out. I believe it's by Avantris, if I'm saying that correctly. So look into it if you're interested at all. But that was pretty much everything that we happened to purchase over the last really year of board games. So otherwise though, Gen Con, always a really fun time. We always have a good experience. Really haven't had like too many bad experiences, honestly. There's always like a big crowd of people, and I'm pretty sure this year like fully sold out. Last year I believe it was like technically Friday and Saturday, like individual days that sold out, but I believe this year it was the whole weekend, and it really showed that there was a ton of people every day. And I think it was really great that we were able to bring in like a new group of friends who are also, you know, big board game fans, and you know, wanted to check out how this big board game convention was being run. And while we didn't always get to hang out, you know, individually, it was more like hanging out in two separate groups than as like a big group. But sometimes that's kind of better because we ended up having between like 8 to 10 people some days. So we did kind of hang out around the city in Indianapolis and then Carmel as well, and being able to walk around and just kind of enjoy like a little mini vacation too was a good time. So I hope that maybe you learned something new, had a fun time, or just got to enjoy some of the cool things that were happening around Indianapolis and Carmel. If you are looking forward to more art in the future though, that'll definitely be the next vlog. More than likely it's going to be focusing on some of the things from the Summerween shop update, as well as wow, that was a while ago, sorry guys, I'm a little behind on blog footage, as well as opening some new keychains that are one was a restock, one that will be coming to conventions only for now. But regardless, look forward to that, and also look forward to, I think probably by the time this is going up, this is going to be getting closer to the fall shop update prep. So if you are at all interested, make sure to follow along, subscribe, leave a comment, a like, whatever you would prefer to do. But until the next one, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.